Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to Sunday Shooting, our weekly exploration of shoot 'em ups throughout the ages. Today's game is Minus Zero from Triangle Service. This was first released in 2009 as part of the Shooting Love 2000X collection for Xbox 360. This was initially Japan exclusive, and it's worth noting that this physical edition is region locked, unlike some of Triangle Service's other releases, so bear that in mind before you make the same mistake I did and buy a game you can't play. Fortunately, however, the Shooting Love 2000X collection has come west in two forms over the years. In 2015, it got released on the Games on Demand platform for both North American and European customers, and in 2016, Dejiga Games ported the whole lot of Triangle Services games for Xbox 360 over to PC via Steam. So you can get hold of all these games legitimately, there's just not a physical version that you can play on European or North American systems, so do bear that in mind. Minus Zero itself is an abstract lock-on shooter with a few casual resemblances to something like Sega's Rez. It's a game I like very much. It's very friendly to very short, challenging play sessions. So let's go take a look. Okay, here we are with Minus Zero, only lock-on shooting by Triangle Service. This is a really simple game, but I like it very much, so I thought I'd show it off to you today. Let's play. So, probably the easiest comparison to make with this game is something like Rez, in that rather than blasting away in a conventional manner, you're simply moving your sight over targets to lock onto them, and then pressing the fire button will shoot at everything that you've locked on at. So it's all very abstract, all very simple and straightforward. Just dodge and shoot. And in order to complete a stage, you have to shoot the red thing. Everything else is yellow, but you shoot the red thing to move on to the next stage, which has different patterns. And gradually becomes more complex. Much like in Rez, again, each new stage also increases the complexity of the backing music as well. So as you play through the game, the music is also getting more and more interesting. Now, you'll notice there's a lot of bullets flying around in this, in traditional bullet hell fashion. And so to deal with that, you can do one of two things. One is that you can lock onto the bullets and destroy them. And two, you may notice that while I'm shooting, or while things are exploding, my little triangle turns red instead of blue. And while it's red, you are invincible. And so sort of the key strategy in this game, rather than dodging, I mean dodging's important as well, but sort of the main strategy is understanding how to maintain that invincibility. And when it's safe to move through huge groups of enemies. And also learning the attack patterns as well. Because once you get to sort of this third stage in particular, if you're not ready for some of these attack patterns and what they're going to fling at you, then you're going to be in real trouble. Oh, and we're dead. Yeah, you only have one life in this as well, so you just survive as long as you can on that one life, and then you're done. Alright. So, presently with my score, I am 1,314th out of 6,433 players on the Xbox. And I am the first out of 2 people who have played this game this week. So go me, I guess. Yeah, this is the Xbox 360 version of this game. It's also available on PC. And it's pretty much exactly the same experience on there, so wherever you choose to play it, you'll have a similar experience. If I remember correctly, I think the PC version can only run in windowed mode, which kind of bothered me a little bit, because I like my games to take over the whole screen, even when they're in vertical orientation like most shoot 'em ups. I don't mind whether it's wallpaper or black border, but I don't like to see windows while I'm playing games. I don't like to be reminded that I'm using a computer. That's a matter of taste. If that sort of thing doesn't bother you too much, then, well, the PC version will be fine for you. The Xbox version, as you see, has this sort of blurry wallpaper in the background, which is fine. Background of this level always reminds me of the PlayStation 2 OS. I don't know if that's deliberate or not. But it certainly made me quite happy the first time I played this. So yeah, I really like this game just because it's a bit unusual. It's a bit different from what you typically expect from a Japanese shoot 'em up. It's sort of not going in for popular formats like Bullet Hell or a sort of super difficult Raiden style shoot 'em ups. Like I say, the main thing that this clearly draws some inspiration from is Rez. But it's a different experience to that, even. By unfolding in 2D rather than 3D, it gives you quite a different feeling to the whole experience. And the invincibility mechanic is interesting too. I also appreciate the simplicity of the scoring system in this. So there's no sort of messing around with multipliers or doing fancy techniques in order to score lots of points. As you might be able to notice down in the lower left corner of the screen, the scoring system is quite simply based on how long you've survived. So the longer you survive for, the more each individual thing you shoot is worth. And so in some ways, in order to get the high scores, you almost want to try and hold off blasting that red one that takes you to the next stage. Because reaching a later stage doesn't necessarily mean you're going to score more points. It's all to do with survival. So if anything, you almost want to try and delay progression for as long as possible. Whoops. You want to try and delay progression for as long as possible so you can score as many points as you possibly can on the early stages before just trying to survive those later levels. Alright, let's have another go. I think that's the best I've done for a long time, that last run. So let's see if we can match that at least. This is a game I found where, although the waves are ostensibly the same each time you play, you can have a very different experience from attempt to attempt. And in fact, if you're not ready for it, the first couple of times you play this, you will probably find yourself scoring just a few points. Yeah, there we go. So that was probably a good score for the first stage, because we destroyed everything before we took out the red one. And in this stage, it pays to be a little bit strategic about what you're shooting, so that you don't get overwhelmed with things that are shooting bullets at you. So before you release all the small circles, try and clear a bit of space first. There we go. I just wanted to survive that. It's this stage I always find quite difficult. This initial bit with the kind of snakes of them isn't too difficult. But it's when you get the circles that are coming in from the outside of the screen. Those are quite difficult to dodge. And so it becomes really important to take advantage of that invincibility mechanic. So what you can do as well is you can start really close and try and... Oh no! I was going to say you can try and destroy that circle as soon as possible, because as soon as the large circle has been destroyed, those small circles will stop orbiting it and they'll stop approaching it and they'll just float around, and they're a little bit easier to deal with while they're incoming. But obviously I failed to do that there, so no, I will not save that game clip because that was embarrassing. Right, let's have one more go for today. Last try. Let's make it a good one. So yeah, this is a favourite I come back to very often. So Triangle Service as a developer isn't especially well known or respected, but this game in particular is one that I found really striking right from the first time I played it. And as a result, it's one I keep coming back to. And obviously, as you've seen, the sort of competitiveness on the leaderboards is rather less than it perhaps could be. But even so, you don't have to compete against other people to have fun with a shoot 'em up. For me, just because a lot of people are just simply so much better at these than I am, I tend to get more enjoyment from kind of self-improvement. Seeing how far I can get, seeing how many points I can score, see how long I can survive. And this is a good game for that because it's so simple to learn, but so challenging to master. It's hard not to have a good time with it. And again, Triangle Services games aren't particularly known for being lookers, but I really like the abstract presentation of this game. I think it works really well. Let's try and clear a bit of space out. Because we are getting a lot of bullets firing towards us. Ah! The other thing I like about this is I think the invincibility mechanic is a little bit easier to understand for newbie players than sort of the tiny hitbox of bullet hell games. So although the concept of a tiny hitbox is very simple and easy to understand, actually putting that knowledge into practice and understanding what that means for how you should be moving around the screen and how safe it is for you to do certain things is a little bit tricky to get to grips with. Whereas in this, if you just remember when you're red, you're invincible. While things are exploding, you're invincible. You'll be all good. Oh, I've never got to this level before. So, you're honoured, dear viewer. I sense something awful is going to happen. Oh no! Like death. There we go. That wasn't even a dramatic death. I'm very disappointed in myself. But that is my best ever score. Oh, I'm 809th. I've actually broke the 1,000 barrier. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I think we'll leave that there for today. So, I'll just say, as always, thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please help out the channel by leaving a like or a comment and subscribing. Be sure to check out moegamer.net for new articles on Japanese and Japanese-inspired video games, new and old, every weekday. Every month, Moe Gamer features an in-depth exploration of an individual game or series as its cover game, so be sure to check the archives to see if your favourite has had a deep dive yet. If you'd like to support the site directly, please consider becoming a patron or buying me a coffee. You can find links to do both down in the video description. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.